In 2014, Justin Bieber was ranked 5th hated person in the world. But these are the comments that people share on social media about him nowadays. Very different from when he was a kid. My question is why? Not why you hated him or why you empathize. Why the shift? Why the people who used to hate him are now racing to empathize with him? And why do people refer to him as a kid now more than they did when he was an actual kid? This isn't the psychology of Justin Bieber. This is the psychology of you. Most importantly, why this shift is actually dangerous. Let's put 2 and 2 together. The first 2 is pop culture, especially in the celebrities department. When you put people on a pedestal, that doesn't just mean idealizing them. The metaphor refers to literally putting something or someone on a thing that is called a pedestal. So it gets all of your attention. And attention can be good or bad. Here's an example from an actual client of mine. Her dad didn't give her much attention when she was a little girl. He would take her little brother on car rides, they would go to the workshop together, they would do everything together. So of course, she didn't like it, she wanted her dad attention, so she tried everything. She tried acing in school, didn't work. Tried being funny, didn't work. Tried everything until she got angry. She acted up, she got in trouble in school, she didn't clean her room, she simply didn't give an F. And she even became aggressive towards her little brother. Of course, her dad started yelling at her, but to her little mind, it was, oh, my dad is yelling at me. My dad is looking at me and saying words. They're not the best words, but I don't care. He's looking at me. He's giving me his attention. Yes, finally. So attention can be good and can be also bad. So you gave Justin Bieber your attention, whether you hated him or you worshipped him. But how you processed anything he did was based on how you saw him. That's the second 2 that we're gonna put to the first 2. The cycle of causality. In storytelling, we say cause and effect. In psychology, we say the CBT triangle. Names don't matter. Let's say you have a thought that you're a great person. With everything you do, you just operate from that place of greatness. In result, you feel very confident, you walk like a rock star, you talk like a CEO, and in result, you perform very well in your job. You solve problems, you ace in any task you would tackle. So when that happens, what does that confirm? That confirms the initial idea that you're a great person. And the same thing goes for negative feelings. Say you say to yourself, I suck at my job. You obviously feel blue, you do everything while feeling grumpy, you don't perform well, and that validates the initial idea that you suck at your job. And the same thing as well goes for how you looked at Justin Bieber. You took everything he did as a cue to validate your thoughts about him. Now I'm just gonna take a wild guess and give an example. Let's say that your thoughts about him was he didn't deserve all the money and fame he had. So he goes on having a beautiful girlfriend. All the girls were obsessed about him. He's on TV, he's on the radio. Coffee shops are playing his songs everywhere you go. There is something that reminds you that that little kid was just so freaking lucky at a very young age, and he didn't have to do the work that you did. Or maybe you were at his age, you were 16 when he was 16 and getting all the attention of every girl you knew in your life. How did that make you feel? Obviously angry, obviously frustrated, feeling resentment towards him, jealous, envy. F that kid, right? I get it. So when his character died, in CSI in 2011, you celebrated. Some people recorded themselves playing video games, killing Justin Bieber. It was a wave of hating him. If you hated him, you were cool. Even when people wanted to say anything nice about him, they had to start by, I used to hate him. I never liked him, but this song is good. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying something nice about him. I gotta first say that I didn't like him. And then a series of famous JB behaviors. 2012, aggressive behaviors towards paparazzi, allegations of vandalism, frequent late arrivals to his Belief tour. 2013, spitting on fans and neighbors, urinating in janitor's bucket, adopted a monkey and then abandoned the monkey in Germany. Reckless behaviors. And then 2014, he gets arrested for driving intoxicated, and then he smiles in his mugshot. And the worst part, he looked freaking handsome in that mugshot. F that kid, right? Annoying. That's the emotion that you had. So what behavior did that result in? Trolling online, saying things like, I'm happy he got arrested, he deserved it, blah, blah, blah. And you saw all of these behaviors that smile as a cue to say, see, this ungrateful little bee, he didn't deserve that money and fame. In short terms, hating Justin Bieber was never about his behavior or even about him. It was about you. Your thoughts about him, how you felt about someone else getting all the money and fame that you wanted. And you thought that you deserved more than he did. So when he turned 21, he made a public apology for his behaviors.
I was afraid of what people are thinking about me right now. I didn't want to come off arrogant or conceited. Or basically how I've been acting the past year and a half. I am a human.
Yes,
right?
you are a human being.
People often forget that. Even with some of their comments and stuff, they think that it doesn't get to me. But it gets to me, Things that people say bothers me, and I gotta be strong enough to just keep it pushing. But
if you had the context of, F that dude, he got all that I wanted, what do you think your reaction was to that? Well, some people were still saying, F that dude, it's a PR stunt. While others were like, okay, fair enough, but let's see, JB, you better behave yourself. And they put themselves in the place of Judge Judy, right? So whenever a tiny setback happened, that was reinforcement of the initial thought. He didn't deserve that money. See? And then in a 2020 interview, he talked about how hard it was for him to be so young in the industry. People told him that they loved him, but then they turned their backs on him when he needed them. Again, some empathized and some others didn't give an F. Some others were like, dude, you have all the money in the world. Until a clear billboard sign appeared and said, Diddy's case. People started asking, how did I not see this? How could I have missed all the signs? Oh my God, I judged this kid when he was suffering real trauma. Now let's put names to these questions, shall we? You feel shame. You feel regret and guilt. So what do when you want to feel better about yourself? You don't want to feel like it was your fault. What do? You rewrite history. You refer to him as a kid now and empathize now as if that would change anything. That's why a lot of the comments about him now have these days like, I'm so sorry. People are actually apologizing, but it's just a little too late. Let's make something clear. It's not about you. You want to feel better about yourself? Here's a trick that I actually use with my clients in hypnotherapy sessions. Think to yourself, that's not me anymore. I used to hate on a kid, but I was a kid too. But I'm a grown-up now. I don't do these things anymore. What I did in the past doesn't define me. That's not me anymore. And embrace that. Say it assertively. More importantly, if you think you're helping, you're actually harming him more with this new attitude of enabling, because there's a huge difference between empathy and Enabling.
Enabling is permitting or even sort of facilitating the maladaptive or unhealthy behavior of another person by not putting any consequences on their behavior and going one step farther and even taking responsibility for another person's behavior.
In easy terms, empathy is when you understand someone through their lens, how they look at themselves, the world, their past, how they feel, how they think. Their math is just adding up. Enabling is a step above that. Their math is adding up, and that's why they act like a jerk, so I guess it's fine. They can act like a jerk. Forensic psychologists understand this the most. They be interviewing people like Ted Bundy and having real empathy for them. As humans, that doesn't mean that they agree with them or with what they did. There is a thin line. Just because you understand something doesn't mean that you tolerate it. And since you are not forensic psychologists, sometimes that thin line isn't very clear. Even some therapists aren't the best when it comes to seeing it. So it's okay if you don't, because you know what? It's not your responsibility. Behaviors are formed based on the results. You try something, you see what it does for you, and based on that, you either repeat it or you don't. Like the example of my client. When she got in trouble, when she acted up, she got her dad's attention. So in result, she grew up doing lots of bad things. So when a person goes from being hated by millions to finally being sympathized with, when he takes drugs, embarrasses his wife, does things that, in my opinion, are even worse than what he did when he was a kid. And people are like, "Oh, bless him. He needs help. We're so sorry." What do you think is the message you're sending to his subconscious? Yeah, exactly. You're enabling that behavior.
Our behavior is shaped by the consequences that follow it. If the narcissist acts like an ass and you are still there just loving them up, why would they change their behavior? That empathy turns into enabling.
But as we said earlier, it's not your responsibility. Listen, Justin Bieber is two things. First, he's a survivor. I have a lot of respect for him. People in the industry that should have protected him when he was a kid objectified him. He got a lot of hate from the public. All eyes were on him, which is probably why he's been trained to make everything about him, even his wife's full cover. And he probably had a lot of traumas in his home as well. You know, his mom kind of abandoned him when she put him in that industry and put him in Diddy's arms. And then his dad, of course, abandoned him too. And his dad only showed up when he became Justin Bieber. So he had lots of traumas, and tons of people have taken their lives because of cyberbullying and other traumas. Others have different coping mechanisms, sometimes destructive. I get it. Again, I'm a hypnotherapist. I've seen it with my clients, and I've been there. So the fact that he's alive is respect worthy. However, Justin Bieber is 31 years old now as we're speaking. He's a husband, a father, a grown-ass man. He didn't know how to handle all of this when he was a kid. But just like you don't do those hateful things online anymore, he is not a kid anymore. He can reinvent himself. He can change his life. Miley Cyrus did. She got a lot of hate, but she reinvented herself. Lindsay Lohan did. Non-celebrity people did as well. And notice how I said non-celebrities. I didn't say regular people, quote, because we're all regular people. Celebrities are just people who are a bit famous. That's it. But here's the difference between healthy people and covert narcissists. They both have traumas. People think that a covert narcissist is always calculative and they intend to hurt you. Nope. It's all trauma responses. The difference is that when a loved one is hurt by our actions, it's a wake-up call for a healthy person to change. But for a covert narcissist, You're just a collateral damage. You should understand me. You should forgive me. You don't know how hard it is to be me, poor me, tears, tears, poor me. And that's the danger of it. You don't even feel yourself enabling them. You just think that you're being a good person, a good human, a good friend, a supportive spouse. But in Justin Bieber's case, most likely, if you were a hater, you just want to feel better about yourself. You just want to make up for the hate comments and death wishes. But just forgive yourself and realize that he's just a human who wanted to sing. We all want the same things. We all want to feel loved and happy. We have different experiences in life based on where we were born, our family environments, circumstances, etc., etc. So our pursuit of happiness is shaped by that. But God forbid that someone gets what we want before us. Instead of feeling angry, look at them as an inspiration. I like to think this way. I like to say, someone is a human doing something. I'm a human as well. Thus, if they can do it, so can I. The question is, do I want to do it? How would I? And so on and so forth. Hate doesn't feel good. And if you were a hater, look back at how that affected you. I'm guessing that hating celebrities became your norm. Trolling online became a habit. Criticizing became your default opinion, even in your daily life. People think that when someone is hating on celebrities, they're just doing it to celebrities and that's it, period. No, that's their default. If your default is peace, it's gonna be so towards anybody and anything. If your default is anger or jealousy, you're gonna operate from that place even towards your fridge. So please, let's operate from a human place. A kid wanted to sing, got discovered, got a good opportunity. Good for him. Really good for him. Now the kid is a grown up, going through a hard time. Who didn't? Let him handle his shit. If you like this content, consider subscribing. Thank you.
You're the only one for me, and for make some love with me, but you're gone, forget the words. It's difficult for me to trust, and I'm afraid that I'ma fuck it up. Any way that I can leave you.